It's hard to find anyone in Washington with decent approval ratings right now. President Trump is underwater with numbers in the low 40s. But as a party, Democrats are faring even worse, with a new poll showing a 29% favorability rating among voters. Our next guest is a former Illinois congresswoman who served a more conservative district and recently co-authored a report called Hope from the Heartland about how Democrats can win back working class voters. And joining us is political consultant Cheri Bustos with the Mercury Public Affairs, the former Congresswoman Cheri Bustos, who won in one of those Trump-leaning districts. So your recent report spells out how deep trouble Democrats are with working class voters. Put it into context. How big is their problem?
Well, it's a deep problem, and if we don't figure out how to get this figured, or if we don't figure out how to do this right, we're in trouble. And so we've got this report focuses on only Democrats who have won in the toughest districts in the center part of the country. And what we would contend is that if you think the way to do this is what just happened in the mayor's race in New York, that doesn't work in downstate Illinois. It doesn't work in these working class districts. Some of what he's talking about, making things affordable, are fine, but to make everything free, that's not what people are looking for.
People get a little skeptical of that. And we mentioned you won in one of these more conservative districts. There's a few Illinois Democrats that hold moderate districts right now. What have they done to be successful?
So if you look at this report, the whole thing is to be somewhat prescriptive if you are a Democrat running in one of these tough districts, whether it's a rural district, a working class district, a district that Donald Trump won. What it talks about is to use your two ears and your one mouth proportionately. Something that a lot of politicians don't seem to get right. The old-fashioned door knocking, and when you door knock, listen to what people say. And talk in a way that people understand. You know, I remember when that term justice impact individual came out to talk about those who were in jail. My husband was the sheriff of Rock Island County, Illinois.
He wouldn't use that phrase.
He would not use that phrase. In fact, when that came out, I won't use his cop language to say what his reaction was, but it's like, who talks that way? So even like if you listen to how people talk.
So maybe too much of a focus on like academic papers and research in terms of formulating language is going on right now.
Sure, like poll testing and or talking down to people. I remember the first time I saw that term Latinx. I had never heard that term, and I see it in writing, and I said...
Many in the Latino community had not either, by the way.
Well, I didn't even know how to pronounce it. I'm like, what is Latinx? And I remember some people laughing at me. I'm like, I'm sorry, I've never heard that term. And where I've lived for, close to 40 years, we have a good Hispanic population. It's a pretty good size.
And you're in the Galena area. You're in Western Illinois.
I live in Galena now, but I was based in the Quad Cities for the 10 years that I was in Congress. And I never heard anybody say that. And so it's like, why are we talking in a way that people don't talk? And why are we poll testing things and trying to always be politically correct, et cetera? That's not the way to win.
So this report showing a sort of a roadmap for Democrats and winning back the working class, given how gerrymandered many of these districts are, where only the most partisan candidates usually get through primaries, is there a road back for a middle-of-the-road kind of Democrat? There's
a road back, and I would contend that if the Democrats want to win back the majority in the House, maybe someday in the Senate, I don't know if that's going to happen in the next couple of years, and the presidency, that road to victory goes through districts like the ones we profiled in this report. It is the swing districts that can go Republican, can go Democratic, depending on if you get it right, if you have the right person running. So candidate recruitment is also very, very important. Do you fit the district, or are you some Ivy Leaguer that's coming back to run in a working class district that won't sell very well?
And what are the kinds of things that voters in some of these districts are concerned about, especially some of the agrarian voters, saying no one's listening, the Democrats don't listen to farmers, the Democrats don't listen to folks from small towns? Well,
what people care about, and look, I mean, it's hard to speak generally, right? But they do care about, are their families going to be in an opportunity where they can succeed? Can their kids, if they want to go into the trades, they can go into the trades? Or if they want to go to community college, nobody's looking down on them for that. If they want to go to college, do they have the opportunity to do that? Gas prices aren't going down right now, despite what the promise was from the current president. The price of going to the grocery store is not going down. People care deeply about that. What they don't care about is the identity politics, the check the box mentality of, you know, do I have this person in the seat or that person in the seat? What they care about is competence, and is that person I am voting for going to fight for me and fight for my family?
What about the issue of immigration? The Republicans really seized upon that issue as sort of a reason that perhaps voters who felt like they weren't getting ahead could point to, whether that's true or not, and it really resonated. What can Democrats do on that issue?
Well, I think we first have to say that the borders should not be open. I mean, that your average everyday person does not think that we should have open borders where people can just come in, whether they have a criminal background or not. So that's number one. Number two, if you are coming into our country and you have a criminal record, we don't want you here. I mean, that's really pretty basic. And if you're here illegally with a criminal record, then you're going to face deportation. But we can do it humanely, and if you look at our family farms, we need people that are out, especially out west, picking our strawberries or tomatoes, et cetera. In the Midwest, at our dairy farms, at our poultry farms, I will say this: if you go to a family farm, in the Midwest, in Illinois, there are a lot of people who are immigrants. And so just to say that we don't want anybody who's an immigrant, that is not going to bode well for our family farmers.
Sure, and some of the polling on this shows Trump is losing ground on that issue. Last question for you. You mentioned Zoran Mamdani in New York. Is the Democratic Party big enough for someone with his ideology and someone in a rural district?
Well, he's a Democratic socialist. He would not win in the district that I represented for 5 terms. I mean, he just wouldn't. And, the messaging that he talks about as far as affordability and people being able to have a better lot in life, I think that goes over well. But when he's talking about free everything, somebody's got to pay for that. I think the mentality more in these working class districts is if you work hard, I mean, this is kind of cliche now, but if you work hard and play by the rules, you should be able to succeed. And I think that is what people are looking for in their elected officials, that can happen. Work hard, play by the rules, and we'll make sure that you can succeed.
All right, well, we have midterms coming up. Democrats, no doubt, looking to seize the opportunity to get back in power in the House. We'll see if they heed some of your advice. Cheri Bustos, thanks for talking with us.
Thank you, Paris.